Hello, World Wide Web. This is Last from Last Has with a capital T, bringing you a game called Factorio. Now, Factorio, a little bit about it is that it's not the average game. You kind of see from the background, very faintly, there's a bunch of gears and stuff. I've played this game for about a year now. Yeah, about a year. And I've realized how complicated it really can get. You can be dealing with all sorts of chemical things, and then you also have to manufacture ores, and just I'll explain more when we get in it when it gets into it. But last time I checked, it was about 14 pounds, which equates to about $17 American. So I'm just gonna start a new game. Every time you get a new game, you pops up this menu like normal. This just kind of gives you the whole basis of everything. I am going to put it on peaceful mode because the way I play, there's two different ways, and I'll explain these later. But there's a green way and there's a non-green way. And I usually end up playing the non-green way, given my nature in real life. I end up playing in the non-green way. And the enemies, some of the triggers, and I'll get more into depth later, is that they're triggered by the amount of pollution, and I'll explain that much later. Terrain segmentation, this normal. I'm gonna bump these up because I do end up running out very shortly out of everything. Yeah, we'll just make this regular. Starting area, we'll make it big, and we'll leave our map infinite. Is your sort of truck on a planet? This is Factorio free play. I did not select free play, but okay. Your task is to prepare the planet for colonization forces from Earth. Landing ships will be an easy target for attacks from the native bases. However, they can be protected by rocket defense. You'll need to research advanced technologies in order to unlock the rocket defense. Start small, work your way up with automation, and don't forget to protect from the natives. Some tips is the furnace and everything. Yeah, I've got this. Two sides of the belt, you can use them both, and they're pretty cool. Yeah, you can rebuild just by clicking over it. And then your electric network, which I'll get more in depth later, but it does say the whole system's in there. A lot of graphs. Shift left mills. Yeah, basic stuff. Yeah, there's also two bars. Okay, I'm done with this. So let's examine. All right. So the main thing you want to look for is copper, coal, and iron. Mainly what you want to look for. And then at the beginning, what are these? Ooh, stone rocks. Yeah, this is like, you also want to find stone too. So first off, start off with a small little like spear thing. And you're just gathering wood like every other basic starting game. Except for it takes a rather long time and it's the entirety of the tree. So I'm going to grab just a few more trees with my spear thing. And it is a third pixel. Not third pixel, but third degree thing. There's also this crude oil stuff, which you use later in the game for cars and like when you need chemical plants and all sorts of just crazy stuff. Now you may be thinking, how does it know what to select? And that's just sort of a basic mouse thing. And then you have this area where it's yellow around you, and then you have this red area where you can't reach it. Oh, I traveled into the densest forest. Alright, so I'm going to come out here into the open, and I'm going to see around. Okay, so there's a lake. There's a lot of lakes. Now if you press M, this brings up your map. Whoa. This brings up your map. And I'll explain more later about that, but that will become very useful. So for the first off, let's just kind of jog on down here to the coal, because you always want coal first. Coal and trees. What I've just placed down is a burner mine drill. This, if I bring it up, that little number that says 31K, that is the expected amount that'll be done before those 4 blocks underneath of it are completely gone. I'm given 8 iron plates and a burning mine drill. Good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by slowly digging some coal, and then I'll put that coal back into this, and it'll produce me some more. That'll produce me more coal, and it just kind of snowballs from there upward into craziness. It's really insane how high this game gets. Like, there's some technologies where you have robotniks doing various construction projects for you. Like, it gets to the point where you're putting oil, crude oil in through your gas pumps down an entire system network, and it is some of the craziest stuff ever. So that'll get me at least 2 coal. And then you kind of hover over it, pick it up, feed it back in. Yes, very good. It's working. So this is pretty much where it just starts spiraling up, which is the cool. Go to E, you'll see we have transportation belts, and you have these inserters and the very basic stuff you need, like steam engine, boilers, and these pipes. And the electronic circuits. The cool thing about this game is that there's what you need and then your total raw. And then you just, like, the electronic circuit requires copper. And your main thing you want to build is the radar dish. And what's really weird about the radar dish is that it brings the enemies to you faster. These are all the technologies that you can have. Usually you want to start off with automation, then logistics, or logistics and automation. But it just, everything that you do affects more and more. Like this brings you a lot of stuff. There's landmines, there's the alien technology, which is technically that. Like I said, there's fluid handling, which all sorts of just crazy stuff. There's, let me see, what's one of the cooler ones? Yeah, the robots, planes. It's just, some of the stuff is crazy. And also, I should mention that if there's something blocking a path, eventually it'll stop like that. And that'll do, and you have one there. So what I'll do, we'll start with one of those, and one of these. Now this is where it gets kind of cool. So I don't want to stand here the whole time. So I'm just going to do that. I should move this a little farther. I'll put one of these guys here, rotate with R, and I'll put that there. I'll pick up this coal here, and I'll put it into him. Now his job is to move that coal from there to the box. This makes things a lot easier because I can control click, boop, there's the box. Why this is really handy is because these guys and these guys are the essentials of this game. This game does not go anywhere without them. And no, you can't see it yet, I don't think. But usually there's a tiny bit of pollution that starts now. Yeah, you'll see your belt system and then your miners and the various things. And how the pollution works is it starts off with a small ring up in your map, and it just grows and grows and grows and does not stop at all. I'm actually going to go harvest some copper so I can get on this production, because a lot of the stuff that I want requires copper, and I should place this down too. This is also the starting thing. It's used, just everything's coal powered so far, which is the worst sort of thing you can have, but it's also the best. It's weird. What do I need? Iron and 2 iron sticks. Yeah. So for that, I need 4 iron plates, and I only have 2. So I'm actually going to go run up, get some iron, come back, smelt it, and I'll actually have a lot more. Oops. I'll have one of these tool at the very bottom. You'll see your 4 guns, or your 3 guns, the 3 cartridges, armor, and a pick. The pick can be upgraded once you get steel and research that technology, like steel smelting, I think it's what it's called. But until then, you're stuck with an iron pick, which makes harvesting a lot faster for various other things. And with the armor, protects you from the enemies and la armor stuff. And then the guns, you can fire them by pressing space near the enemy, I need 2 more. Oh, this takes a while to do. But what happens is that you press space when you're about ready to attack the enemy or they're attacking you, and then you shoot and you use Q, and you'll be able to circle through your guns, whether you want a grenades or your AK or your regular pistol, which is what you start off with as any good colonist would. And what's really cool about this game is all the dialogue is what you really saw, and I really do think this character is a girl. I mean, she looks like Samus from Metroid. So I mean, that's not much to base it off of, but it kind of does. Alright, so you're out of coal, but you've also made 40 coal. So let's put about 4 in you, and 6 in you, and then we'll start going. And this is the basic start of the game. Very slow, very, very slow paced. But now I have a pickaxe, so I'll be able to mine things faster. Next thing I want to get is I want to get my power system up and running. So I'm going to want some I'm going to need boilers, a steam engine, and an offshore pump, which requires 3 copper, 5 iron, 20, and then 5 stone. And an iron. Yeah. Like I said, here are your weapons. You can build walls, you can build a radar. Various other things as you research will come out, but in order to research, you need these things of the research lab, and they require electricity. So do these, the electric mining drills. And then your electric starts off very basic. You think, oh, electricity can't be that bad. It does get that bad. Yeah, see how quickly I'm now mining because of my new shiny pickaxe? Yeah, this is just the basic one. The steel one actually mines about twice as fast, and it lasts about twice as long, which is really nice. So we'll get a few more copper, and then I'm gonna go smelt it. Smelt it. Like I said, the basics of this game aren't very complex. It's when you have this entire system of just basic pipes and fluids and solids and gas even, and acid and all sorts of fun stuff floating around the system. So I'm going to pick that up. And then there's that. So now, I need 5 stone and an iron plate. So I'm going to actually go gather that 5 stone, seeing that it's not very far away. So I'm going to go gather that, get the 5 stone, and we'll be starting our way all the way up to getting electricity and various other things required for this. This game isn't in full release, jumping back to about the game. It isn't in full release, and it's expected to have a lot of bugs in it and stuff. Like, I've experienced one where the item called Repair Pack, whatever your aliens can attack, you have the option to repair it instead of having to craft all new ones, which is very handy. See, already got 64 of it. There's 2 more. Yeah, this little repair pack, instead of just getting something new, you can actually have the choice to repair it instead of spending all the costs and various other things on everything. As specific as that was, you kind of catch my drift. So from this I need 27 iron, I think. And that'll get my electricity running up and quickly. Once I have my electricity up, I'll be able to get these electric burners, which are a lot more efficient. I don't have to worry about coal as much. I still need it as fuel if I want to get anywhere else until much later in the game when I have plastics and sulfur, a lot of research and various other things, but it does help a lot. So I'm almost actually at 20 something, whatever I need. This game is very slow to start. Oh, and my pick broke. Joyous. So so I'm actually gonna let that go. I'm gonna go build a new pickaxe. So run. Put there, that in there, hopefully. So 1, 20, 25, 26 iron, 3 copper, and 5 stone. Once I have all that, I should be able to get the most basic electric system up and running. Let's have you keep doing coal. You're seeming to... Yo, you've only got 0.1000 coal out. How good. So let's build ourselves new pickaxe. And then one of these while we're at it, which is what the stone was for. We'll go back, go get some more iron. A very slow starting game, but this, like I said, this thing spirals out of control quite quickly. And it's kind of fun too, about how it all, you like 1 minute you're sitting there playing, and then the next thing you know, boop, you're dealing with fluids and pumps and steam and enemies, and you somehow are balancing it all. It's pretty crazy too.